Hello, this is Paul. Today, I'm drinking a steamy hot mug of apple peppermint tea, and I just finished drawing a fancy nothing with my Kaweco Sport. I used midnight blue ink on page 1 in my new Crescent Render sketchbook, and it was fun. I'd also like to tell you a short story called Sparrow's Sorrow. A young boy falls in love with a young girl. The boy's name is Riverwind. The girl's name is Sparrow. Riverwind's father is the chief of their hidden village. Sparrow's mother, beautiful and strong, is the only woman who is allowed to hunt with the men. The chief declares, ripe in the rites of spring, the rain falling, the flowers springing vibrant from the rocky walls, that Riverwind and Sparrow are to be married, and soon they are. However, not long after the joyous day of their wedding, Riverwind's father falls to his death while hunting desert goats in a steep canyon. Riverwind is named chief, and a brave chief he is, which is good for him and for his small tribe, for not soon after his father dies and he is named chief, war comes. Sparrow no longer hunts. She stays back from the battles and leads the women of the tribe. Together they craft bows, spears, and arrows for the fight, and they dry every strip of meat they can, knowing always that they need to be ready to run. And ready they are, but for reasons they never see coming. Unfortunately, not long after the start of this terrible war, a young brave returns to their hidden camp, sadness etched deep into his tired face. He brings with him the war beads that Riverwind wore around his brave neck. Sparrow falls into sorrow, dark and lonely. But she doesn't allow this to last long. It cannot last long, for her people face death, and this she knows. As fast as she can, she wrenches herself from this sadness, but it leaves a bitter sting, because in doing so, she makes a sacrifice for her people. For sorrow demands time to heal. It demands time to mend souls. The act of pulling herself from the depths of her sorrow tears a new wound inside of her, a wound that transforms her into a spirit filled with vengeance, a spirit filled with strength. The armies of her enemy fall beneath the rage of her bitter shadow. She sweeps over them half alive, half ghost, her storming spirit taking from them everything, just as they took everything from her. For a time, her tribe is safe. The armies retreat in fear, tales of a grim spirit bent upon vengeance, roaring down upon their warriors, echoes through their wounded camps. Sometimes, however, anger, fury, and fear feed an enemy, provokes them, until their defeat looks impossible. Though the enemy's army retreats beneath her fury, they only retreat far enough to find their strength. They only retreat until they grow larger, stronger, until finally Sparrow's people are forced to flee their secret desert canyon and run for the mountains. Once they run, their mighty enemy hunts them close behind. It's almost as if they know where the small tribe is running to, almost as if they can hear the echoing fear of the frightened tribe as they leave their precious home behind. The army chases relentless through the nights, through high winds and rain, without rest or compassion, for they desire victory and death. Sparrow, however, is nowhere near defeated. She is nowhere near death. No matter how close the wicked army gets, Sparrow hides her people's tracks. She hangs far behind her tribe, baiting the enemy along with smoldering campfires, false footpaths, and the fake scent of fear. She baits them along to keep the chase alive, taunting their endless hunger, wearing out their legs, exhausting their food, beating down their desires. Yet not once does she allow the fierce army to set their fiery eyes upon her tribe. Sparrow now hides in the fog. She lurks in the shadows. She hums with the wind, howls with the coyotes. She screams like a storm, but she no longer destroys her enemy. All she does is blind them to the songs of her people, until her tribe becomes folktale and lore, and nothing more than a dusty memory, forever living peaceful in the haunting echoes of the vast mountain valleys. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.